Hello, I'm Chef Elizabeth with the Culinary Medicine program at Spectrum Health, and we have had so much fun working in the virtual kitchen. So we have transitioned all of our programming to be virtual classes. Things like this where we get to dialogue and you can see different cooking demos. We've got some classes coming up where you get to make your dinner at the same time we're cooking together. So when we're all done, you get to also have your meal. So that's our May 11th class. We hope you can join us for that class coming up. So what I want to do today is share with you one of my favorite recipes in our house. It's something that helps to save time in our house, but also helps to make sure our kids are getting some great nutrition. So we're going to make the apple cinnamon baked oatmeal cups. I'll show you how to do that today, and hopefully all of you can, I'm sure after this airs, you can then watch it again and go back, and we'll also make sure we post the recipe as well, so you'll have that to work with. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we've got a bowl out and a spoon in here, and I've got 3 cups of old-fashioned oats, rolled oats. It's just oat groats that have been flattened. You can buy them at the store. I'll go ahead and put them in a bowl. And then the next thing I'm going to do, and basically what you do in baking typically is you mix the dry ingredients separate from the liquid ingredients, and then we'll put them together. So we're going to put some cinnamon in here, and I love cinnamon for a couple reasons. One, cinnamon just adds great, it smells great, it's very fragrant, and also it helps to make things feel and taste sweeter. Cinnamon has that natural sweetness to it, and so when you put that in dishes, it kind of makes it feel a little more sweet without adding all that extra sugar. The next thing we're going to do is put about a teaspoon of baking powder in there. And then after that, we're going to put a half teaspoon of salt. And what you'll see is there's not really a lot that goes into this dish. It's pretty simple. And this is a dish when it's all done that you could freeze it. You could store it in your refrigerator if you want for a couple days. And it's a quick grab and go for a lot of people. My son likes to take these for lunch a lot of times. I think he finds that he doesn't have to spend much time in the morning preparing his lunch. He'll just grab a couple of these and take them with him. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of set that aside. And then now we'll work on the items that go for the liquids. So I have 1.5 cups of some unsweetened soy milk here. So I'll put that in the bowl. The next thing I'm going to add is a 1/4 cup of some maple syrup. You could also use honey if you don't have any maple syrup at home. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to put in some applesauce. I actually ran out of applesauce at home, but I had some apples that were looking not so great. And so with that, you can very easily make applesauce at home. So that's why my applesauce has a little bit of a red hue to it. Because when I use applesauce and I make it, I leave the skins on. I find there's a lot of great nutrition in those skins. And if you're going to blend it all up anyway, you might as well get that nutrition and great flavor. And I find it doesn't really change the texture or the flavor at all when I leave them in. The next thing I'm going to do is add a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. And now we're going to put in some flaxseed. So flaxseed in this dish is basically kind of serving as a binding agent. It's also something that's kind of like what eggs might do if you put it in a baked good. And so I'll put 2 tablespoons of flaxseed in. This is also a great source of fiber and just really, really good for you. Packs a great nutrient punch. So where you can kind of put in a tablespoon of flaxseed in different things you have, whether it's oatmeal in the morning, or maybe put it in a dressing to thicken the dressing. It's a great thing to do. And then I'm also going to put in 2 tablespoons of some almond butter. And here is where you can kind of make it your own. So I put almond butter in because I do have someone in my house with a little bit of a peanut allergy. And so we find almond butter works just as well. But you could also use peanut butter, cashew butter, whatever you might have on hand. Just go ahead and use that. And then I will go ahead and just whisk everything up. So again, it doesn't really take that much time. This is also a great thing if you have kids at home to get your kids involved in making this recipe as well. And then the final thing we're going to do, I'm just kind of whisk it a little bit more. I've got that almond butter in there that's a little bit thicker. And here is a little tip for anybody. So when you buy like peanut butters and almond butters and they don't have the added things to kind of thicken them, they're just the natural nuts by themselves. When I get home, I open it up, I mix it because sometimes that oil sits on top a little bit, and then I store it in my refrigerator. And then it makes it super easy so you don't have to stir it every single time. So hopefully that's a tip some of you can try at home as well. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is put in some chopped apples. So I diced up a bunch of apples, about 3/4 cup. Actually diced up 1 cup total because I'm gonna save 1 cup later to kind of use as a garnish. But again, if you're in a hurry, you don't have to put that garnish on top. So I'll put those apples in there. And then give that a little bit of a stir. And by combining that flaxseed with that liquid prior also, it starts to thicken it a little bit. So that's kind of will thicken up a little bit and keep everything kind of binded nicely together. And so I've got this nice little liquid here. And now super easy, I'm just gonna dump this liquid in with my oats. And I hope all of you give this a try. Hello to everybody out there. We're so glad that you are joining us and connecting with us. And a couple things I want to mention too while I'm giving this a nice little stir is for our class that's coming up on May 11th, the items we're going to make, it's some of our favorites. It's a roasted carrot and farro dish we're going to make. We're also then going to show you how to make a really amazing lemon basil drizzle, which is like perfect for summer. That's right around the corner. And then finally, we're going to make a strawberry lime vinaigrette salad. And so the cool thing is we'll cook together. We'll send you all the recipes prior. And then when we're all done, you get to sit down with your family and enjoy the meal while I do the same afterwards. So that'll be fun. And I'm teaching with our registered dietitian, Krista Gast. And she is a wealth of knowledge. And so you want to tune in to kind of hear everything she has to say as well. Okay, I've mixed it up. I've got a nice little mixture here. And the cool thing with this is there's no eggs in this, so you can dip your spoon in and give it a try. It by itself is an amazing treat to just eat like that. It has a lot of great flavor, but today we're going to kind of take it all the way to the next step. So I've got a 1/3 measuring cup here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in a prepared baking sheet here, or baking pan. Like a little muffin pan, and basically you just take these 1/3 cups and you just go ahead and drop them in like this. This makes 12 muffins. I don't call them muffins, I call them baked oatmeal, because if people eat them and they think they're muffins, they're gonna think the texture is a bit different. But if you call them baked oatmeal, that is really what they are. There's all different great recipes out there for baked oatmeal. We also have one that we use some banana and some chocolate chips that also taste great. But this will leave your house smelling amazing. Everyone's going to want to come as soon as they're done. They might not even last till the next day for breakfast. So basically what we'll do is just get these in there. And I hope all of you are doing good if you're doing some cooking tonight. I'd love to hear, like, what is everyone making for dinner tonight? What's on the menu? It's always great when people can kind of share ideas and trade with others. I'll be making, I think, some quinoa lettuce wraps tonight. It's another one of our culinary medicine recipes that just packs a great nutritional punch as well as great flavor. Okay, so with that, it's probably not beautiful and pretty, but you guys get the gist of kind of the final product, how it looks. And again, I would definitely give it a little taste. Get a spoon out, try a little bite, see what you think. Okay, with that, I'm gonna set the bowl aside. And then now what you have is you can just kind of throw some of this remaining apple. So I left a little bit of diced apple on top. And again, this is the garnish. So when you cook, you don't have to take the time to throw garnishes on it. You might decide, okay, this is something that's quick and fast and I need to get this done quickly. And so you're not gonna garnish something. On the flip side, you might feel like, hey, it's a Saturday, I wanna take a few more minutes and do this, or maybe really make it pop. So that way when my family sees it, they're gonna be that much more tempted to give it a try. So with that, I've got that all set. Before I started, I did preheat my oven, so my oven is ready to go. So with that, I'm gonna toss it in the oven real quick. Get those baking, and they take 20 minutes to bake, and then they're done. So now obviously magic always happens, so I did quickly bake a batch before we started so you could see the final product. So here is our final baked apple cinnamon oatmeal cups, and I just want to show you plating. So a little tip on plating really quick, and this is what we love to do in a lot of our classes, is give different tips on whether it's chopping or cutting or plating, so that way you can feel more confident and comfortable when you're in the kitchen. So I like to use a butter knife to get something out. That way sometimes when they're still warm, it's a bit hard to prop them out. So I might use a butter knife and pull these out. Find a plate. Definitely when you plate something and it's on white, it's gonna pop more. But whatever dishes you have, just make it your best. So I'm gonna put those on a plate and kind of actually in plating a lot of times they want you to use 3 of things, an odd number. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna do 3 on a plate, and then I just wanna show you how to take this up a notch. So what we're gonna do is we've got a little fine mesh strainer here, and I'm so glad you're all joining us and tuning in, and hopefully you're finding some interest in all of this. And remember, we've got a cool class on May 11th, as well as one in June we just posted as well around a taste of the Mediterranean. So we hope you can join us for that. I've got a little cinnamon, which smells awesome. I'm gonna sprinkle that on top, basically, and as I go, it just kind of pops on the plate, pops on top of that baked oatmeal cup, and bam, it's done. Thank you so much. Hope to see all you soon in the virtual kitchen.